So we'll move on to the consent agenda.
Consent agenda items are expected to be routine and non-controversial. They will be acted upon by the board at one time without discussion. Any board member, staff member, or interested party may request the removal of an item from the consent agenda for later discussion.
Would any member of the public like to pull anything?
16 and 17, Chair.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, could we read out item 17?
Item 17, action item, Human Resources, approve appointment of an extra hire candidate in the District Attorney's Office pursuant to County Code Section 2.64.645, employment of family member.
Mr. Buttner?
My name is Christopher Buttner, publisher of Calaveras 2026election.com. The following statement is to be entered in whole into the public record and become part of the official minutes of this meeting, with me identified by name, Christopher Buttner, as having registered my opposition to the board's approval today of item 17, approve appointment of an extra hire candidate in the District Attorney's Office pursuant to County Code Section 2.64.645, employment of family member. The agenda item discussion summary states that, quote, this is an urgent placement and will be filled on a temporary basis by an extra hire, end quote. Urgent placement is a declarative statement of an immediate need having arisen. Therefore, this urgency for placement must be substantiated with hard facts and documentation for review. Otherwise, as noted in my opposition to agenda item 16, it is more fluff concealing nepotism. Prove that this placement is urgent. Substantiate the urgency and the reason or reasons for it. Is District Attorney Uke under pressure to establish a public integrity unit in her office to investigate endemic Calaveras County government corruption? Is this urgent placement in response to District Attorney Uke having numerous new sworn complaints filed in December against her and her office with both state and federal law enforcement agencies for negligence of oath of office, breach of the public trust, quid pro quo corruption, selective law enforcement, civil and constitutional rights violations, as well as abuse of discretion? Is this urgent placement in response to District Attorney Uke anticipating time and resource-consuming interactions with any or all of the following agencies? The 2024-2025 Calaveras County Grand Jury, State Bar of California, California Attorney General, California Civil Rights Department, the U.S. Attorney's Office, the FBI, and the Fair Political Practices Commission. And in what department within Calaveras District Attorney's Office will this family member currently work, and what prior experience does this person have to meet this urgent requirement for placement, and what is this individual's name? All are reasonable questions that need to be transparently answered. Continue agenda item 17 for further consideration once the questions I presented here have been adequately and transparently addressed for the public. As noted in agenda item 16, this would be a good time for you folks to realize that you better start playing it by the straight and narrow right now. My name is Christopher Buttner, publisher of Calaveras 2026election.com.
Ms. Hawkins.
So this particular candidate, we are bringing in on a temporary basis. The DA's office has new requirements that they have to meet regarding blind charging. And so it is an immediate need to get this position filled while they look at the needs of if they will need a permanent position or what the organization will be. The candidate that they are requesting has strong experience with looking at cases, can be able to identify the information that needs to be turned over to the DA's office. And so while this is an extra hire, but because there is a family member in the department, we are bringing it forward for transparency. And with the structure that the DA has, this particular extra hire will not report to their family member. And I will let Brad add more information.
Morning, Brad Jones, Assistant District Attorney. This is in response to a new law that went into effect January 1st of this year that requires prosecutors in the state of California to charge on what's called a race-blind charging basis. That process requires reports to be redacted. Our system does that automatically, but staff need to select which reports go in there, which cases are exempt, which cases qualify, and that takes a lot of experience. This candidate has a career of experience in the state of California in the criminal justice system, and that experience will be extremely helpful, and we're very lucky to have this opportunity. As we're figuring out how this goes, hopefully the process speeds up, but it takes a lot of resources to comply with this new law and get the system going. And we're rolling it out now, but we could certainly use the help. And the relationship is to another extra hire employee that also had a full career in public service here in Calaveras County that is working as a retired annuitant. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Questions? Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Thank you.
Just reconfirm that this is a temporary basis until we can fill it and stay legitimate with the state law until such time we find someone that.
Absolutely, and if it needs to be ongoing, then we would probably open up a recruitment to fulfill that need on an ongoing basis.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Are there any other public comment? With that, I'll bring it back to the board.
I'd like to make a motion. With this motion, I'd like to say that, you know, with all the things that were said here at the podium, I think that we should have definitely, you know, the protest on, but when it comes to all the allegations of malfeasance or whatever, strike that from the public record because I didn't hear any proof, the burden of proof said. I don't think that should be part of the public record when it comes to the minutes of the meeting. I'd like to strike that as the board. That's my motion.
Do I have a second?
Sorry, Supervisor Stauber, I think that the full public comments do need to, it doesn't obviously mean that any public comment on any given day is true or not true, but they do need to be included in the record as delivered.
Okay. With that, then just a motion to move forward.
Do we have a second?
Okay.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 5-0.